NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
We know how.
Restaurants and stores get the green light, but do San Diegans feel ready to go back with coronavirus rules in play? Thank you for joining us for the Nightly Check-In. I'm Catherine Garcia. Today was the first full day the county has been able to operate under accelerated progression into phase 2 of the state's reopening plan. Retailers can now allow a limited number of people inside with strict modifications. Don't go inside if you're sick. Wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart. A lot of changes, but store owners we spoke with today say they're willing to jump through hoops if that means getting their customers back.
The foot traffic going past our stores has definitely increased over the last few days. And so we're excited to see that I think people are going to want to get back out there.
One obstacle a lot of store owners are facing that we heard from today is actually getting some employees back. They say a lot of them are making a lot more on unemployment right now. Restaurants across San Diego County are also opening their doors to serve guests in person, and the new dining experience comes with a lot of rules as well. Tables 6 feet apart. All employees must have their temperature checked daily and wear masks. If showing any symptoms, they must go home and tell their doctor. There are no self-service stations allowed. Tables will be sat at one time and all must be present. Once restaurants prove they can comply with the protocol, they can open up. Then it's ultimately up to the guests to decide if they feel comfortable going there to dine.
We are following all the safety and county protocols, and if you want to come out, we are going to welcome you with open arms and take great care of you. And if you don't want to, stay at home. And next week we're going to be starting our takeout and delivery.
All restaurants across San Diego County are expected to have signs up explaining the protocols the restaurant and guests are expected to follow. Today, California's top educator met with more than 1,000 district superintendents in a virtual meeting about reopening schools. The goal was to share ideas about how to do that safely by possibly reducing class sizes, holding classes outdoors, and combining in-person instruction with distance learning.
And we know that even on its best day, distance learning doesn't work for all students, just doesn't. It truly disadvantages our most vulnerable students. There's no learning from home for our families without a home.
There's also concern about keeping schools sanitized and making sure staff and students have enough personal protective equipment. All of that probably with less funding. Governor Newsom's budget plan released last week calls for cuts to education without help from the federal government. The county tested 4,722 people in the past day. That's just 478 tests away from the goal of 5,200. 175 more county residents tested positive. That's a 4% positive test rate, which is slightly up from yesterday, but far below the 8% required by the state. In all, there are 6,315 cases here. 11 additional San Diegans have died, which brings the total number of deaths to 241 people. For San Diego Bay, Waterfront Lots reopened today after months of COVID-19 closures. This includes Shelter Island, Spanish Landing, Tuna Harbor, and Rocco Park. There are still some restrictions as far as recreation goes. Walkways are open for just walking, running, and biking. You can't stop, can't sit, can't lay down. More waterfront lots will be reopening tomorrow, including Bayside Park, Bayfront Park, and Tidelands Park in Coronado. The coronavirus may not spread as easily on surfaces as we first thought. This is according to updated guidance from the CDC. The agency says while it may be possible to get the coronavirus by touching a surface, it is not believed to be the main way of transmission. But the CDC says it's still learning more about the virus. Experts say the best form of protection continues to be social distancing, washing your hands, and wearing a mask. A streak of sunshine for the weekend. Here's Dagmar with your first alert weather after a quick break.
NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe. We know how.
Bill Howe is open to provide customers with repairs and services. We have taken additional measures to keep our customers and technicians safe. We will continue to provide San Diego with trusted, exceptional service.
Because we know how.
For your Friday, you are looking at some gorgeous weather out there, so continuing to feel a nice little warm up. Even though temperatures on average will be down 1 or 2 degrees, you're still dealing with overall a warm up from the beginning of this work week, so that'll leave the coast in the low 70s. Inland valleys, mid 70s, mostly sunny skies. Mountains, you're still looking at anywhere from the upper 60s into the low 70s, and then the desert still mid to upper 90s, so a warm one in store for you. Mostly sunny skies across the region as we head into this long weekend.
A lot of people are getting a little shaggy these days with barbershops and salons still closed, and the same goes for our pets. Generally speaking, you should be taking your dog, if it has long fur, to be groomed every 6 to 8 weeks. But with groomers closed, there are still a lot of things we can do right now from home. Here are some tips from a groomer with the San Diego Humane Society.
People don't realize that sometimes you're missing tangles or matting that's closer to the surface of the skin. So what I recommend is doing something we call line brushing. So what you'll do is you'll have your pet in front of you and you'll pull that coat back completely the opposite direction in which it grows. And you'll start to kind of slowly work through each layer of that coat. And that will help ensure that you're getting all the way to the base of the coat and all the way to the skin, and will help you identify if there are any tangles or mats that need to be maybe spot shaved out.
We have some more pointers on pet grooming from home at NBC7.com. Just search pet grooming. That's going to do it for our nightly check-in. Have a good night.